Michael Jackson is considered one of the greatest superstars the world has ever known. He was a dancer, singer, songwriter, and philanthropist who transformed the music industry with a career spanning over 4 decades. His iconic moonwalk dance mesmerized millions and earned him the title King of Pop. Recently, however, his alleged son went public, finally confirming some long-standing rumors about Jackson. To understand the impact of this revelation, it's helpful to look back at Michael's early life, which sets the stage for the scandals that emerged later. Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, as the 8th of 10 children. His father, Joseph Walter Jackson, was a former boxer who worked as a crane operator and played guitar in a local band, while his mother, Catherine Esther Jackson, worked at Sears and loved music, dreaming of becoming a country singer. Growing up in a strict household, discipline was enforced by his father, a man who played a pivotal role in guiding his children's musical careers. Despite the tension this created, music filled their home, and young Michael quickly showed impressive vocal talent and an innate sense of rhythm and dance. Michael's professional journey began at the young age of 6 as the lead singer of his family's band, the Jackson 5, formed with his older brothers Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, and Marlon. Performing at local talent shows and small venues, they soon gained a reputation for their dynamic performances, blending Motown hits, soul, and R&B. In 1965, they won a talent show where Michael danced to Barefootin' by Robert Parker and sang My Girl by The Temptations. From 1966 to 1968, the group toured the Midwest, often opening for famous acts like Sam and Dave, the OJs, and Gladys Knight as part of the Chitlin circuit of black clubs. In August 1967, their victory at an amateur night at Harlem's Apollo Theater helped boost their fame. The Jackson 5 recorded several songs for Steeltown Records in Gary, Indiana, with their debut single, Big Boy, released in 1968. Later that year, Bobby Taylor of Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers discovered them, bringing the group to Motown Records and producing early songs, including Who's Lovin' You. After signing with Motown, the Jackson family relocated to Los Angeles to pursue their musical ambitions. In 1969, they made their TV debut at the Miss Black America pageant. Rolling Stone later praised Michael as a prodigy with incredible musical talent, describing him as the standout star of the group. By January 1970, their song I Want You Back had reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, staying at the top for 4 weeks. They followed up with 3 more hits, ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There. In 1971, the family moved to Encino, California, marking a new phase in Michael's life. As he transitioned from child star to teenage idol, he released 4 solo albums with Motown from 1972 to 1975, including Got to Be There and Ben. His single Dancing Machine in 1975 popularized the robot dance. That year, the Jackson 5 moved from Motown to Epic Records and rebranded as the Jacksons, continuing to tour internationally and released 6 more albums between 1976 and 1984. During this period, Michael Jackson played a pivotal role as the Jacksons' main songwriter, crafting memorable hits like Shake Your Body, Down to the Ground, Can You Feel It, and This Place Hotel. Yet, despite his musical success, his childhood struggles were significant, particularly the harsh criticisms from his father, Joe Jackson, who often mocked him for having a fat and ugly nose. This criticism deeply affected Michael's self-image, eventually leading him to undergo a rhinoplasty in 1978 to reduce the size of his nose. In 1979, Michael released his 5th solo album, Off the Wall, which marked his transition from a child star to a serious solo musician with a mature sound. Produced by Quincy Jones, Off the Wall became a groundbreaking work that bridged pop, R&B, and funk, reaching #3 on the Billboard 200 and selling over 20 million copies worldwide. While the album garnered widespread acclaim and earned him 3 American Music Awards, Michael felt that its impact didn't match his vision, igniting his determination to achieve even greater success in his next project. During this period, Michael experimented with collaborations, one of the most notable being with Queen's lead singer, Freddie Mercury. Together, they recorded a few demos intended for a duet album, but the collaboration ended abruptly when Michael brought a pet llama into the recording studio, which angered Mercury. Their creative clash ended the partnership, and Michael went on to collaborate with Mick Jagger, recording the single State of Shock for the Jacksons' Victory album. Michael's dedication to pushing boundaries culminated in his release of Thriller in late 1982. The album, blending pop, rock, and R&B with high production values and Jones' masterful arrangements, became a phenomenon. It not only topped the Billboard 200 for 37 weeks, but also remained in the top 10 for a record-breaking 80 weeks, captivating a global audience. Thriller shattered sales records, becoming the best-selling album both in the U.S. and worldwide, with over 70 million copies sold. 7 singles from Thriller, including Billie Jean, Beat It, and Wanna Be Startin' Something, reached the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, a first in music history. The album's massive success was recognized at the 26 Grammy Awards, where Michael won 8 Grammy Awards, a feat that highlighted his unprecedented popularity. Santana later matched this record, but at the time, Michael's achievement was groundbreaking. Following this, Michael won another 8 awards at the American Music Awards and became the youngest artist to receive the prestigious Award of Merit, further solidifying his superstar status. One of Michael's most iconic moments came on March 25, 1983, where he reunited with his brothers for a Motown 25 television special. The broadcast, viewed by 47 million people, featured Michael's legendary solo performance of Billie Jean, where he wore his now iconic sequin glove and performed the moonwalk for the first time on television. Taught to him 3 years earlier by dancer Jeffrey Daniel, the moonwalk became Michael's signature dance move and elevated his status to that of a global phenomenon. Critics compared this performance to other landmark television moments, like Elvis Presley's and the Beatles' debut on The Ed Sullivan Show. With Thriller, Michael achieved one of the highest royalty rates in the industry, earning around $2 per album sold. This groundbreaking financial arrangement contributed to his immense fortune. His influence extended beyond music. In 1984, Michael Jackson dolls hit the market, amplifying his fame, and a behind-the-scenes documentary on the making of the Thriller music video won a Grammy Award. Time magazine described his cultural impact, calling him a star across records, radio, and rock music videos. That same year, Michael embarked on the Victory Tour with the Jacksons, performing his solo hits to over 2 million fans across the United States. However, controversy arose over ticket sales, leading Michael to donate his $5 million share of the proceeds to charity. At the tour's final show at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, he announced his departure from the Jacksons, marking the end of an era and the start of his full commitment to his solo career. In 1985, Michael teamed up with Lionel Richie to co-write We Are the World, a charity single aimed at raising funds for famine relief in Africa. The song, which featured a historic lineup of prominent artists, sold 20 million copies, raised $63 million, and won 4 Grammy Awards, including Song of the Year. The success of We Are the World cemented Michael's reputation not only as a musician, but as a humanitarian with global influence. In the early 1980s, while working with Paul McCartney, Michael learned about the profitability of song ownership. McCartney, who owned rights to numerous songs, earned $40 million annually, which intrigued Michael. By 1983, Michael began acquiring music rights, marking the beginning of a savvy business strategy that would later impact his financial empire. However, despite his growing influence, Michael hadn't released an album in 5 years, creating massive anticipation for his next work. In 1987, Michael released Bad, an album that matched the success of Thriller and solidified his legacy as a global icon. Bad topped the charts in 25 countries and was the best-selling album worldwide in 1987 and 1988. It became the first album to feature 5 U.S. #1 singles, including Bad, Man in the Mirror, and The Way You Make Me Feel. Among these hits, Smooth Criminal became one of Michael's most iconic songs, showcasing his distinct vocal style and dynamic choreography. Bad earned Michael 2 Grammy Awards, one in 1988 for Best Engineered Recording, and another in 1990 for Best Music Video for Leave Me Alone. He also received an Award of Achievement at the American Music Awards. With Bad, Michael continued to push creative boundaries, not only as a musician, but as a visionary artist who redefined pop music. His success established him as a superstar of unprecedented influence, leaving an indelible mark on the music industry. Through his talent, innovation, and business acumen, Michael Jackson transformed himself from a child prodigy to a global pop icon known as the King of Pop. In 1989, Michael Jackson embarked on his first solo world tour to promote the Bad album, which became one of the highest-grossing tours of its time. The tour ran from September 12, 1987 to January 27, 1989, and was met with record-breaking attendance figures. When he arrived in Japan, his concerts were a massive success. He performed 14 shows, drawing in a total audience of 570,000, almost triple the previous record for a solo tour in the country. In London, Michael performed 7 sold-out shows at Wembley Stadium, with 54,000 people attending each night. This achievement set a new Guinness World Record for concert attendance. It was around this period that Michael became famously known as the King of Pop, a title his publicist embraced. In 1989, actress Elizabeth Taylor publicly acknowledged this, calling him the King of Pop, Rock, and Soul when presenting him with the Soul Train Heritage Award, and the title remained associated with him throughout his career. In March 1991, Michael signed a historic $65 million contract with Sony, surpassing Neil Diamond's record contract with Columbia Records. Later that year, he released his 8th album, Dangerous, co-produced with Teddy Riley, which marked his foray into the new jack swing genre. Dangerous was highly successful, achieving 8 times platinum status in the United States and eventually selling 32 million copies worldwide by 2018. Its lead single, Black or White, topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks and reached number 1 in multiple countries. The second single, Remember the Time, also became a major hit, peaking at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. By the end of 1992, Dangerous was the best-selling album of the year globally, with Black or White as the top single. In 1993, Michael performed Remember the Time at the Soul Train Music Awards, albeit sitting in a chair due to a twisted ankle he sustained while rehearsing dance moves. In the UK, another single from the album, Heal the World, reached number 2 on the charts. Following Dangerous, Michael encountered personal and professional challenges, but he continued to produce music with powerful messages. In 1995, he released the double album History, Past, Present, and Future Book I. The first disc featured some of his greatest hits, such as Billie Jean, Beat It, and Thriller, while the second disc included new material that tackled social and political themes. Tracks like Earth Song addressed environmental issues, and They Don't Care About Us expressed his frustration with social injustice and media scrutiny. The album also featured Scream, a duet with his sister Janet, capturing his anger at the intense media scrutiny he faced. This song was accompanied by a futuristic, high-budget music video, which went on to win a Grammy Award for Best Short-Form Music Video. Although History did not reach the sales heights of Thriller or Bad, it was still a commercial success, selling over 20 million copies worldwide. In 1997, Michael released Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix, a remix album that included reimagined versions of songs from History along with 5 new tracks. The album performed exceptionally well in the UK, reaching number 1, and was certified platinum in the US after peaking at number 24. It went on to sell 6 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling remix album of all time. In 2001, Michael returned with Invincible, his first full-length studio album of new material since Dangerous. He worked on the album for nearly 4 years, investing a remarkable $30 million in its production. Although Invincible received mixed critical reviews, it performed well commercially, debuting at #1 in 13 countries and selling over 7 million copies worldwide. However, it did not attain the same iconic status as his earlier albums and was the last original studio album he released in his lifetime. Despite his professional achievements, Michael's personal life was fraught with struggles. He often spoke of the physical and emotional abuse he endured as a child at the hands of his father, Joe Jackson. Michael recalled that Joe would sit with a belt, ready to punish him or his siblings for any mistakes they made during rehearsals with the Jackson 5. This early hardship shaped his complex relationship with his family and impacted him deeply throughout his life. Joe Jackson openly admitted to using whippings as a form of discipline for Michael, insisting it was necessary for his son's upbringing. Michael's mother later explained that while this form of punishment is now widely seen as abusive, it was a common parenting method in their community during Michael's childhood. Michael's brothers, meanwhile, defended their father's actions, claiming the discipline kept them out of trouble. However, Michael's own experiences felt different. He often described feeling isolated and lonely even with his large family around him. His relationship with his father left him with lasting insecurities and fears that haunted him into adulthood. In addition to his troubled family dynamics, Michael grappled with body image issues. His insecurities were amplified by his father's harsh comments about his appearance, with Joe Jackson reportedly calling Michael ugly as a child. But it was a skin condition called vitiligo that would transform Michael's appearance in a highly public way, causing his skin to lose pigment in patches and leading to a lighter complexion over time. This change drew intense public scrutiny, with rumors circulating that he was intentionally bleaching his skin. He faced a growing fascination and criticism over his evolving appearance, which led to ongoing media speculation about his motives and identity. In attempts to address his insecurities, Michael underwent multiple plastic surgeries, including rhinoplasties and other facial procedures. Some of these, he claimed, were due to medical reasons, such as needing nose reconstruction after an accident. But his changing appearance only intensified media interest and added to public scrutiny of his life and choices. As Michael's fame escalated, he found himself at the mercy of a relentless media machine. The tabloids of the 1980s and 1990s labeled him as eccentric, mocking his reclusive lifestyle, his physical changes, and his unusual behavior. This era of tabloid culture branded him with the nickname Wacko Jacko, a term that deeply wounded him. The media's intense focus on his personal life overshadowed his musical accomplishments and left him struggling to maintain his mental and emotional health. One of the most significant and damaging events in Michael's life occurred in 1993 when he was accused of child molestation by a 13-year-old boy. This accusation sparked a media frenzy, and though criminal charges were not filed, Michael settled the case out of court for a reported $20 million. This settlement, though not an admission of guilt, cast a shadow over his reputation. In 2003, similar allegations arose again, leading to a full trial that was broadcast globally. Michael pleaded not guilty and denied all allegations. After months of intense courtroom battles, he was acquitted of all charges in June 2005. Although the legal vindication provided some relief, the damage to his public image was irreparable. These accusations, combined with the relentless media scrutiny, took an emotional and financial toll on Michael, leaving him in a fragile state. Despite being one of the highest-earning entertainers of his era, Michael faced severe financial difficulties in his later years. The costs of maintaining his extravagant lifestyle, coupled with extensive legal fees from multiple court battles, plunged him into significant debt. By the early 2000s, he was reportedly millions of dollars in debt, despite owning lucrative assets such as the Beatles' music catalog, which was one of his most valuable holdings. The strain of these financial issues only added to the challenges Michael faced as he sought to protect his career and legacy. In his personal life, Michael had two high-profile marriages. His first marriage in 1994 was to Lisa Marie Presley, the daughter of Elvis Presley. Their relationship was highly publicized and ended in divorce after 2 years, with speculation that it was an attempt to rehabilitate his public image following the 1993 allegations. His second marriage, to Debbie Rowe in 1996, was more private and appeared to be largely practical. Rowe, who was once Michael's nurse, became the mother of his two eldest children, Prince and Paris Jackson. They divorced in 2000, with Michael gaining full custody of the children. He had a third child, Prince Michael II, born in 2002 through surrogacy, though the identity of the mother was never publicly disclosed. Known for his deep love and protectiveness toward his children, Michael often shielded their identities in public by covering their faces, hoping to provide them a semblance of privacy amidst the media frenzy surrounding him. In 2014, rumors circulated that singer Brandon Howard, the son of R&B artist Mickey Howard, might be Michael's biological child, allegedly stemming from Mickey's professional association with Michael's father, Joe Jackson, in the 1980s. Reports of a DNA test with a claimed 99.9% probability of Michael's paternity fueled this rumor. However, questions were raised about the test's validity, as it was reportedly conducted with an old dental device allegedly belonging to Michael. Michael's family dismissed the rumors as baseless, and Brandon himself remained reserved on the issue, expressing admiration for Michael but emphasizing his desire to focus on his own career rather than any alleged family connections. Tragically, Michael's life came to an abrupt end on June 25, 2009, when he was found dead at his home in Los Angeles from an overdose of the sedatives propofol and benzodiazepine. These medications had been administered by his personal doctor, Conrad Murray, to help him sleep as he prepared for a highly anticipated comeback tour. The suddenness of his death stunned fans around the world, and tributes poured in globally. In 2011, Dr. Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for his role in administering the drugs that caused Michael's death. Despite the personal turmoil, legal battles, and controversies that marked his life, Michael Jackson's cultural legacy remains intact. As the king of pop, he revolutionized the music industry with his innovative music, electrifying performances, and groundbreaking music videos. Beyond his artistic contributions, Michael was known for his humanitarian efforts, supporting numerous charities throughout his life. Though his life was marred by scandal and personal struggles, his music and influence continue to inspire artists and audiences worldwide, securing his place as one of the most iconic figures in entertainment history.